Okay guys, in this video I will give you some information regarding the kitchen hierarchy, the kitchen brigade and the structure of the kitchen. This is also very important to understand when you want to make a career in the kitchen. It obviously depends whether the kitchen is a smaller one or a bigger one or even a very large kitchen. So larger the kitchen, so more people working in these kitchens and so more different positions are also working in these kitchens, and so bigger the hierarchy. Yeah, so I will explain it to you in detail. And I will also explain to you what these positions are all about, what are their responsibilities, what do they take care of, and so on. And then after that, I will give you some information regarding the time frame. You know, how long will it take to actually jump up in the ladder until you reach the top, if you really want to reach the top. But before we do that, let me explain to you here the different positions and the structure of a professional kitchen. I have a diagram here where you can see a typical structure of a, I would say, medium-sized kitchen. Actually, sorry, not a medium-sized, but already a large-sized kitchen, and I will explain to you why that is. But basically, we always start with the executive chef, okay? Some establishments, they call it head chef or even chef de cuisine. Here, in this case, we call it executive chef, and I also refer to the executive chef. An executive chef actually works in large hotel kitchens. This is the position which is then called the executive chef. When you have a head chef, it depends on the country. In the UK, for example, people mostly call it head chef. Yeah, a head chef also is actually an executive chef. Yeah, it is the same role, the same function. But when I think of head chef, it actually this guy works in smaller establishments or restaurants, okay? And then you have the chef de cuisine, which is the French word for, yeah, the head chef. And now these days, a chef de cuisine is actually only running a restaurant kitchen. He is not running a hotel kitchen. Yeah, the difference between a hotel kitchen and a restaurant kitchen is that in a hotel kitchen, for example, JW Marriott Resort in Phoenix, Arizona, has different restaurant kitchens combined. Yeah, so the executive chef there is in charge of overlooking all individual restaurant kitchens, including the banquet kitchen, the production kitchen, and so on. So the executive chef is the big guy, he overlooks everything. And then in these individual restaurants which you have there you have chef de cuisines. Yeah, these are the guys who are running these restaurants. They are in charge, and they are the man or the woman to go if the executive chef has anything to discuss. So the next position in line right below the executive chef is the executive sous chef / sous chef. Sous chef is French and means under a chef. Yeah, the sous chef is the number 2. He is the deputy. He or she is the right hand of the executive chef / head chef. Yeah, so in very large or large kitchen operations, you have an executive sous chef. Yeah. This is necessary because of the sheer size of the kitchen. You know, in many big, large hotel operations, you have easily 2, 3, 4 different restaurants, and they are themed restaurants. You know, for example, I worked in Asia many years, and in Asia you have hotels with an Asian restaurant, with an Italian restaurant, with a Thai restaurant, a Vietnamese restaurant, you name it. Then you have a buffet restaurant where you serve international food. And all these different restaurants, they have their own chef de cuisines there, or even sous chefs running the show. And and you need an executive sous chef who is overlooking these other sous chefs. Yeah, so he is basically the executive sous chef, is, as the name already indicates, the boss of the sous chefs. The executive sous chef obviously reports directly to the executive chef. So why do we need an executive sous chef? Why not just sous chefs? Yes, you can survive in a large hotel operation with only sous chefs, but in a large hotel operation with many outlets, restaurants, banquets, room service, outside catering events, the executive chef is really overloaded with other duties and tasks. He cannot just be all the time in the kitchen, meaning to say being behind the stove and cooking and this and that and training the staff. He needs a strong deputy, which is the executive sous chef. And in this kind of large operation, the executive chef actually assumes already very much a lot of administrative duties. That means, he spends a lot of time in the office because he needs to prepare training plans. He needs to contact and meet with suppliers. He needs to negotiate purchasing deals, and so on and so on. And you cannot do that if you spend 8, 10 or 12 hours directly in the kitchen. So you can do it. You can spend all your time in the kitchen, but all your other tasks and duties you will neglect. But this stuff also needs to get done and sorted out. So therefore you have an executive sous chef. I personally worked in very large hotel operations where I did not have an executive sous chef. Okay, so I had to survive on with my sous chefs, but these guys are very, very strong and talented, so that made my life much easier. So I hope this is clear so far. Then we move on. Then we have, as I mentioned already, the sous chefs, then the assistant chefs basically, and in the absence of the executive sous chef or executive chef, they are running the show, they are taking care of ordering, administration functions, supervising the food production, overseeing the customer service, and so on. Then below the sous chefs, we start with the kitchen supervisors, which are the chef de parties. But also you have a butcher, you have pastry chef, you have a chief steward there, and on the very right hand side you have a banquet chef. So the banquet chef is in charge of the banquet kitchen. The chief steward is in charge of the cleaning of chinaware, cutlery, and all other kitchen operating equipment. He needs to make sure that all this equipment is in great shape. This is a very, very responsible position. Many people underestimate the work of the stewarding department. The stewards are the guys who are washing the pots and pans, washing the chinaware, washing the cutlery. They're cleaning the floor, they're cleaning the kitchen, they're cleaning the walk-in chillers. These guys are extremely important if you want to run and maintain a professional kitchen. And many people do make the mistake and look down at these guys because they say, "Oh, this guy is just a dishwasher. He is a cheap Charlie. I don't need to listen to him. I don't need to take care of this guy or girl. They are just cheap Charlies, idiots. No, it's not. Let me tell you, your chief steward, if you have one, if you can call yourself lucky to have one, should be your best friend. And I tell you from my own experience, good or even great chief stewards are very rare. So you want to make sure if you manage to hire one, you keep him or her happy, okay?